Hello and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. Google has finally announced its product variant structured data. So the new product variant structured data is going to make it easier for e-commerce stores, especially those that sell clothing or products that are the same but they're available in different colors or they're slightly different from each other. And so the new structured data will enable e-commerce stores in particular, because this is e-commerce stores, to make sure that their products are that their product variants are understood by Google more easier, and for Google to present those variants as part of its feature, as part of its rich snippets. It's also going to be mandatory moving forward in Google Merchant Center. If you have product variants, it's not mandatory right now because they just announced it, but I would imagine this would be mandatory soon. So the first people who jump on this are probably going to see the most benefit from it. So if you run an e-commerce store and you have products that are variants, there are a few things to keep in mind when you're implementing this type of structured data. The first being that they should be part of the parent product. So if you are selling a V-neck t-shirt and they're available in 4 colors, those 4 colors are should be as sub pages of the main page, which is of the t-shirt. So even though they have the structured data that identifies them as blue, green, yellow, and orange variants of the V-collar t-shirt, the parent product is the V-collar t-shirt, of which these are sub child products, let's say, or variants of their product. And so that's defined in the structured data. There are a few other things that you would need to do. The 3 most important ones here are has variant, which nests to the product variants under the product group. Then there's varies by, and this is the variant identity. So if they are blue V-color shirts and there are slight variation between those, this is where you will use this this is where you would use this structured data element. And then there's a product group ID. This is the parent ID or the parent SKU for the product. There are also a few guidelines that Google has put forward. I'll put a link in the description and you can read through those. Before you implement them, plugin or you're using a program to do it, I would strongly advise that you go through the code, because a lot of the code that's put out by these programs have a great deal of fluff in them. And so they're not really as effective as they can be. So you'd want to lean it down and just keep it to the point, because Google does not like fluffy code. So back to the point. So as you can see on the screen, there are quite a few variants here. So each variant must have a unique ID in its corresponding structured data markup. Each product group must have a unique ID in its corresponding structured data markup specified with the in product group with ID, property in variant product properties, or the product group ID property in the product group properties. So these are mainly going to be presented as nested products. Then you have for single page size, there must be only one distinct canonical URL for the overall product group that all variants belong to. Typically, this is the base URL that leads to a page without variant pre-selected. For example, if there's an example, you can read this on the screen. There are quite a few other guidelines over here. Also, Google now supports validation, as it always has. Now it supports validation for these variants. And so you can just plug this in and you can see in Google Search Console if this validates your pages correctly. Also, go to validator.schema.org, where you can validate your structured data and make sure it's error-free before you put that onto your page. That's something to keep in mind. There's also a lot more of this information. John Miller said that this is a big step for Google, and this will make it a lot easier for e-commerce stores that sell multiple products, variants of the same product, and maybe they have several dozen variants for a single product. This will make it a lot easier for them to explain to Google search exactly what their products are. And then for people searching, it will give Google the opportunity to present those products, visually, so that people can choose and buy directly from the site. So they can just click on the product, go to the page directly on the product page, and buy the product that they're looking for. And that shortens the time it takes to find the right products. Now, how well this is going to be implemented, only time will tell. My advice to you is, if you run an e-commerce store, now's the time to dig into the documentation, figure out the schema, add the schema to your product variant pages, and make sure that Google indexes it, because if you're for the first ones to do this, your products are going to show up compared to those that are not doing it on their pages. So now would be the time to do it, or hire an SEO to do it for you. So I hope you guys found the video useful. Make sure to take a look at the links in the description that go into more detail about these product variants. Like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you in the next video.